Where is this going to leave AP, part one? And part two of this question, and I know he's going to draw answers. He's a premier running back. But if you think about the social aspect of it, who's going to want him? And I'm just making this a general question right now.
Well, that remains to be seen. I'll tell you what, let's take a short break.
All right.
Because when we come back, I want to jump into the NFL this past week, and it was an absolutely crazy Week 15 in the NFL.
To say the least, man.
Yeah. Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning joining us here on the Pro Grizzle for Shizzle. 573-200-6505. Join you boys. Let's talk sports. Back in a moment. This is the Afternoon Locker Room, and only on the Arena Sports Network. Stay tuned.
Have you heard the good news about a crazy dream based on the belief that positive breeds positive and that people want to read, hear, and watch stuff about good people? Have you heard the good news about a place you can go to enjoy positive, community-oriented information about the town, city, or region you live in and the people involved? Have you heard the good news about a place where you can celebrate what is right in the world, share it with your friends, family, and community, and neighbors at school, work, or place of worship, and have fun doing it? Well, there is such a place. That place is LaPorteCountyLife.com. LaPorteCountyLife.com is all about the positive, not the negative, bringing out the best and not the worst, and all about promoting positivity in your community. LaPorteCountyLife.com. Have you heard the good news?
Unbelievable in his 15th year. Pressure from the edge. Vollmer's guy gets past him. Brady steps up, freezes him with the pump fake, and he gets out to the right side and then ducks the shoulder. He's not Matthew Stafford. He doesn't want to slide.
Bob Sochi and the crew from 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston with that call as the Patriots take care of the Dolphins 41-13 to clinch their sixth straight AFC East championship. They are the sixth team in league history to do so. Continuing here on the Afternoon Locker Room, presented by Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. Alvin Washington in the house. Give us a buzz, 573-200-6505. The Afternoon Locker Room brought to you in this portion by Strack and Van Til, grocery stores of Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. With me on the Verizon Wireless Hotline, Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning. Catch him mornings from 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time. And Brian, on the heels of that, we go into a wild Week 15 in the NFL. It got going Thursday night as Arizona, who lost their third-string quarterback for the season, holds off St. Louis on the road, 12-6. They now have a playoff spot. Why?
You know what? Bruce Arians is the coach of the year, period. All right? To lose three quarterbacks, still hold on to the lead in the NFC West, with Seattle breathing down their neck, and unfortunately my 49ers no longer breathing down their neck, and that's a situation I'll address on the morning show in a bit. But Bruce Arians is the coach of the year. To take that team that has been beat up considerably at a key position and have questions at the run, one game away from clinching the West Division for the first time since 2009, how about that?
I'll say what makes this all interesting is now, with 2 games to play, you've got a surging Seattle club who weeks ago look like they may not have been able to make the playoffs in the first place, and now with a big win on yesterday, eliminating of all teams the San Francisco 49ers. They are a game out of first place.
Yep.
They take on the Cardinals in Seattle next week. And and if Seattle wins out, they could be the number 1 seed again in the NFC.
First of all, it's the Clink, CenturyLink Field. How the hell are you going to win in that? I don't know how the Cowboys won in that nut house. But then again, we'll address the Cowboys in a minute. The Cowboys caught Seattle in a very vulnerable position. Seattle is whole again, and they proved it with their defense shutting San Francisco down and holding them to only 7 points. The trick for Arizona basically is just to win in Seattle, which they did last year. Okay? But I guarantee you, and Chris Berman mentioned this, Seattle has a very long memory, and Seattle's also the defending Super Bowl champion. So they're still playing with a chip on their shoulder. And my kudos to the Seattle Seahawks for the way they have gotten themselves back together.
Talking with Brian Snow here on the Afternoon Locker Room presented by Gigahertz. Brian appears courtesy, I should say, of the Verizon Wireless hotline. And continuing on for Week 15, boy, tongues are now wagging in San Francisco. There's talk of potentially Jim Harbaugh, now with the season lost, maybe going in one of 2 directions. Maybe going home to Ann Arbor to Michigan, which I think he himself has said he doesn't want, but stranger things have happened. Or going down I-5 to Los Angeles to potentially see another move by the current Oakland Raiders. And this past Sunday, from what I saw, the Oakland Raiders had a big rally in Los Angeles saying, Oakland, come back down here.
They're not the only ones.
Like, if Oakland don't want you, we want you.
They're not the only ones.
Well, no, true.
Because it might be an L.A. double play.
L.A. Chargers, maybe?
No. How about the Rams?
Yeah, the Rams have indeed been talking about coming back home, too.
And they are the ones, if you think about it, that are spearheading the move, especially now with the completion of a place called Farmers Field. You can get the Rams situated in the Coliseum or at old Anaheim Stadium. The Raiders can be situated in the Coliseum while they put the finishing touches on Farmers Field. And just like the Kings, the Lakers, and the Clippers, they can play at Farmers Field. But as far as Jim Harbaugh is concerned, I go by 4 letters, DBTH, don't believe the hype. Will a coordinator change be necessary in San Francisco? Yes, I think Greg Roman is out after this season because you want to have a coordinator that's not afraid to use the materials that they have. But on the flip side of that coin, it may not happen because for the last 2 years, the biggest thing that has bitten the 49ers has been injuries at very, very key positions. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going anywhere at this present time because of the success that he's had in San Francisco. Because another coach went through that same thing, even though he had success early on in the run, and that coach was George Seifert. He took the 49ers to a Super Bowl championship in 1989, and he didn't win the division for a couple of years. But then in 1994, he took them to another Super Bowl championship. So it's probably going to be a coordinator change more than anything else, but the 49ers do have some issues with that team. I don't think it's going to come from Harbaugh. I think it's going to come from the 49ers drafting a pair of good offensive linemen and everybody getting healthy in San Francisco and getting back on the same page.
Well, that we're if they had been able to win that particular Super Bowl, they would still be undefeated at 6-0. No one with at least 3 Super Bowl victories could claim such a ledger. Now nobody is undefeated with at least 3. Staying with the Niners Seahawks rivalry, Russell Wilson has now become the all-time leader for the Seahawks as far as most wins by a quarterback in his first 3 years, and he loves it.
Yeah, I think it means something, for sure. At the end of the day, it comes down to winning football games, and that's my ultimate goal: find ways to win, and whatever it takes, whether it's having to throw for a bunch of yards and find a way at the end of the game, 2-minute situations, or if it's having to run football and sustain drives. I think it's more than anything, though, it's a tribute to my football team. What those guys are doing, what we're doing as a collective effort.
Russell Wilson speaking after the big 17-7 victory against the San Francisco 49ers. And, Brian, after hearing that, you get a sense of Russell Wilson slowly but surely adjusting to his role as the man in the NFC. So Wilson,
Russell Wilson has quietly ascended to the top of the NFC, and like you said, this is despite the exploits of Aaron Rodgers and Tony Romo. Have you noticed how quiet Russell Wilson has handled everything on his way to the top? Russell Wilson is the man, all right? He's definitely the man in Seattle, and of the running quarterbacks, and this is the point that I want to make, of the running quarterbacks that are in the league right now, including Colin Kaepernick, RG3, and the rest that are in there,
Sean Lynch, who continues to be that lightning rod, who continues to be arguably, hands down, even above DeMarco Murray.
Seahawks hustle.
Brian Snow from Snowman in the Morning joining us here on the Afternoon Locker Room via the Verizon Wireless hotline, Verizon Wireless, and the cellular connection in Michigan City. Proud to help you latch on to America's most trusted 4G LTE network. The Afternoon Locker Room is brought to you in this portion by U.S. Tire and Auto in Gary, Indiana. Let's take a short break. We'll continue to talk about Week 15 and some of the other interesting things. And Johnny Football, yeesh. Oh, my gosh, where did he?
I can't wait to talk about that, man. I can't wait to talk about that.
Back in a flash, this is the Afternoon Locker Room only on the Arena Sports Network. Back in a skosh.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics with most virus removal done in 48 hours or less.